All right, man, we back in the shop again. GoPro was acting up earlier, man. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to make this video, and I actually started working, but then I was like, let me try it again. Got it working, and I've been complaining about this GoPro, and it's been giving me issues, but we good to go now. So we got this 96 Impala, local guy, local Atlanta car. Car came to us a couple months ago. We put a 6.0 in it, 4L60 transmission, 3,000 stall. BTR, let me turn the light on so y'all can see it. Hold on. BTR stage 2. And I can't even take no credit for this. Joe did the majority of this swap. He really did his thing on this, knocked everything out, did the custom AC lines he made himself. We did the LS simple brackets, and this is a new design from Murphy, which is, you know, so far, 0 issues with it. So I think I'm gonna go back. I mean, I never really got away from it because when Joe came here to the shop, he had came from Murphy's, so he had known how to get these to work right. So on my car, mine works perfectly now. I was having issues in the past, but with this new setup, the main issue I was having was with the AC compressor bracket, and he changed it. So now the bracket bolts directly to the cylinder head instead of the water pump. And that was the issue I was having. So user error, you know, so I was putting, you know, metal gaskets on there, and then there's a gasket, a spacer, a gasket, then the water pump. So it's going to push it out quite a bit. And Murphy sends his kits with paper gaskets that keep it somewhat flush. So that was part of it. But now we don't have that problem because the brackets are bolted to the cylinder head the same way the alternator and power steering pump bracket is bolted to the block in the cylinder head. So for the most part, it should be the same across the board. Makes it more symmetrical, I guess would be the word, because the water pump can change. You know, you can do, you know, based on the machining. If you get a cheap Chinese one, if you get a Gates, if you get an AC Delco, it could be off by a little bit on where the tensioner mounts, and it could cause problems. But so far, this has been great. Car runs beautiful. Jeff Horn tuned it. We got a current performance harness in it, and LS1 intake. You know, everything's done. It runs great. The only problem we're having was the radiator. So customer brought me a cold case radiator from Summit. It looks like a 3 or a 4 row radiator. It's huge. So we got to do some modifications to get it to work in here because it's so big. So first issue is these are the brackets for the original radiator. It's not going to fit. It's not going to fit there. It's too, you know, I guess I could have sat it in here or sat it on top like this. Oh, I guess I could have did that. See, in the midst of talking, I figured out a way to make it work because I didn't even think of this earlier. Oh no, I'd have to cut this out, or no, it should fit. I don't know. I'm learning this just like you guys for the first time messing with this. Oh, ha! Look at that. So never mind, that worked. I think I might be able to do the same thing with the bottom one. So the only difference is what I had to do on these side pieces. I'll show you what I did for the fans. This is the biggest part that was the headache, was right here. So I went and got some washers from Ace, some nylon washers. So basically, when you first get this setup, the fan, it just kind of falls down, see, like that. And it's gonna be too close, it's gonna rub. So I got a spacer here, sits on top, and then we'll sit that on top of the, come on, sit this on top of the spacer, like that, then sit this spacer on top, and then put the bolt in it. So I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do this, but I figured the nylon spacer won't, you know, cause any issues rubbing on it or anything like that. And it spaces the fan out enough, and I have more spaces for that. I already did it on that side. So now that I kind of figured out how to make that top part work, because I was worried about that. I was gonna have to put spacers, which I will, but I was kind of worried about that. But we kind of figured it out. So let me put this together, and we'll drop the new radiator in. We're probably gonna have to modify the shroud because it's gonna be a little bigger. We'll get it in, we'll fill it with coolant, and we'll see if it's running hot. Now, I physically haven't seen this car run hot, but when Joe was working on it, he told me, hey, it's running hot, radiator's clogged. He put new hoses on it. So we will, I'll finish getting this together and then we'll drop it in. All right. So I had to set up a little table so we can get a little bit more comfortable. So I ended up making this fit. There's a little groove on the back side of the of this, so where it just slides right in, and I was able to put the stock piece in. We got the washers down at the bottom there and there. We got them here and at the top. I mean, I'm lifting the whole thing up with the fan, so it's sturdy, doesn't hit anything, spins freely. So I think we're ready to toss this thing in here. And I mean, this is a beefy. It's a pretty beefy unit here. So I just used, instead of using the stock ones, I went and got some locking, and I over tightened it a little bit on this one, but it's not going to hurt anything. This one's good. Got the 2 washers there. But this is a beefy unit. Nice welds, you know, and it's pretty thick compared to the factory one, and we got plenty of clearance in between the fans and the radiator. Now it is tilted a little bit more. I might take one of these washers out actually and bring it down a little bit because they're kind of tilted. You see what I mean? Yeah, let me take one of these out and see if it sits a little bit more flush. That might make it sit a little more flush. All right, so I ended up taking both washers out, and then I cut about this much off the bolt because it's sticking out kind of far, so that makes it a little bit more flush. But yeah, so got that. So the angle's a lot better. It's still not, you know, it's not hitting it. Plenty of clearance. So I think we're gonna run it like this. So let me get this big baby in there, and we'll start hooking up the hoses. Now in this car, we did bypass the radiator for the transcooler. We got a big 40K in front of it, and there should be plenty. So it's bypassed. I did learn a lesson with that in my truck. I do need to change mine, mainly because it's a daily and I'm towing with it. With my car, with my truck, I do need to run it through the radiator, because when I'm towing and I get in traffic, the temps climb a lot, and I've got it bypassed with a big cooler, but I don't have a 40K, so I may change that first, but I do need to do that. But most of the time I bypass it. I know there's mixed things. Some people say you should, some people say you shouldn't. Or some people say it's okay to do it. Some people say you shouldn't, you know. Come to think about my Impala. Well, my Impala is good now. I haven't had any trans temp issues on my Impala since I turned the RPMs down. It's just my truck. I mean, right now it's not bad because it's like 40 degrees outside, but I remember in the summer, the Chicago video, it climbed up pretty quick when we got to Chicago and we're stuck in traffic. So on this one though, this is not a daily. This is just a cruiser. It should be plenty. It's got a built 4L60, big 40K True Cool in the front, so it should be fine. If I'm gonna drive it all next week, and you know, AC works and everything, so we'll play with it, and if we run into any problems, then we'll address it. But other than that, I think she's about ready to drop in. I'm just gonna pull this tape off. We'll leave these because it's got the places for the oil coolers and the transmission coolers on this side. So we'll go ahead and drop it in and get it wired up, and then we'll fight with this shroud. Yeah, we're gonna have to move this out of the way just to make things easy. Out the way. All right, now we got room to play. It's upside down. Oh crap. Oh well, it's upside down. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, okay. There we go. It's kind of nice. This upper hose on here. I'll have to walk to the Advance and grab some coolant. I might have some around here somewhere. Get this bottom one in though. I think, do I want to put the lines on the opposite side or push them towards that way, or are they good right here? Let's see. Oh, that's way better. Oh yeah, put it right on there. So I normally run the green coolant in all my swaps and all my vehicles. I don't run the Dex Cool, but you know, I heard a lot of, maybe it was misinformation, but I just always heard of issues with Dex Cool, so I just never ran it. Joe had told me it was like the older formula they had a lot of issues with, and that the newer stuff is okay. So you know, I'm gonna trust them. I'm gonna put this concentrate, so that's what we started off with, so that's what we're gonna put back in. So this is probably the best way to fill LS engines, or really any engine. You can burp it really, really good. You can hear it flowing through the radiator. It'll fill the radiator this way too. You'll see it coming out the bottom right there in a second. Well, the top. Ooh, shit. There we go. Get that air pocket out of there. There we go. Man, did that. It took it. So, just a small tech tip. Anytime you get a new radiator, you know, they have the inlet, the outlet, the transcooler lines, and then they have what's called a drain cock. Funny name, I know. Make sure that's closed before you start filling the cooling system. I added so much coolant to this vehicle, I checked the dipstick like, man, is this a head gasket problem? Like, why am I steadily adding coolant and it's going, where is it going? Here's where it's going. So I'm like, why is it dripping? I looked underneath. I forgot to close the drain cock on it before I freaking sealed it up. So the whole time, it's still running hot, and I'm confused. Like, why is this thing running hot? Happens to the best of us. So I'm gonna let it cool down for a second. I'm gonna run across and grab some more Dex Cool because I used it's all gone. So I'm gonna go grab some more Dex Cool, let it cool down for a second, and then come back and close that up, and then we should be all set. Should be good to go. So things aren't going well. It's still running hot, and the radiator's still cold. Let me get my temp gun because something's not adding up. So let's try to figure this out. If not, we'll have to shut down and tackle it in the morning. So I fixed the drain cock issue, so it's holding pressure, but radiator's 62 degrees. Water pump is 120. What's the thermostat at? Thermostat's cold. Thermostat's sticking. Oh yeah. I think the thermostat's sticking because let's see up here. 64, 60, 66. And this thing was at like 250. 83. 133. 13. Yeah, it's something. I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more, but if not, we'll pick this up tomorrow. All right, right, well, it's the next day. It's nice and bright outside. We got action. She's this thing got no seat though. She's idling at about, she's at about 180, so take it for a spin, and still have no heat yet, but I'm gonna drive it, see what it does, and kind of go from there. Put some gas in it this morning, and so we'll see what happens. All right, well, that's it for this one. Cold case radiator is installed. That's got to put the rest of the, I had to take the rubber grommets out of the shroud and trim the bottom of the shroud a little bit to get it to fit. You know, it's best I can do. I'm going to put the rest of the bolts in, and she's idling quite nice. Temperature is where it should be. Where are we at? We're at 180 degrees on the dot. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 190. But she's running nice and cool now. The only thing is we got no heat, so we'll have to investigate that. Oh no, we got heat. Oh, the heat's working. That's what I'm talking about. Never mind, we got heat. Okay, all is right with the world. So this car is done for the most part. He's got coilovers on it, and we're putting 24s on it, so he's got to bring me the wheels. But my plan is to drive it for the next few days, back and forth, home and back, just, you know, daily it pretty much, before I give it back to him. Work out all the kinks, work out everything. I had another car at the house I should have brought here. I wanted to switch them out because that car I need to bring to the shop to do some stuff, but no big deal. So that's how you put a cold case radiator in an Impala. Let me get the part number for you guys, because I know people are gonna ask. Here it is. The box is still right here. There's your part number. Oh, there's your part number. So CH579A. So CH579A is the part number you need for that radiator. I believe it's a 4-row radiator. Direct bolting for the 96 Impala. This one just happens to be LS swap. So this one's pretty much done. I'm gonna zip tie some of the wiring, clean it up a little bit. I will change the oil next week, drive it for a couple of days, and get it detailed, get all the carpet cleaned up and stuff like that. It's got a check engine light, so I'll get with the tuner, see what that's about, and then this thing can go home. So we did the Willwoods on it. Like I said, I got this kit coming soon for the Willwoods with the brackets and the whole setup I'm gonna have pretty soon. So look out for that. I'm just still waiting on the fabricator to make me the brackets, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and grab your merch. We got some hoodies on there. We got mugs, we got t-shirts. If you need the stickers, get at me, and I will see y'all in the next one. Thanks everybody for the support.